Get your cart ready. Let's go grocery shopping. David is pushing his cart past the clerk.
Excuse me, I couldn't find this brand of canned cherries anywhere.
Shows a photo of it on his phone.
Do you have it here?
Let me check.
The clerk checks the stock system.
I'm afraid that we don't have it in today. It's currently out of stock, but we will restock it shortly. Would you like us to hold one for you to pick up?
That's okay. I'll just get it next time. Where can I find the checkout counter?
The checkout area is right over there. You can wait in line or use the self-checkout.
I see. Do you take cards?
Yes, we accept debit cards, credit cards, and cash.
That's great. Are the plastic bags free of charge?
We encourage customers to bring their own reusable bags. However, plastic bags are available for a small fee.
Thanks for your help today.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Welcome to English for You, everyone. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
And we are back with David in day 2 of our trip to the supermarket. David went off to buy some groceries, and at first he was a little confused. Do you ever get lost in the grocery store?
Yeah, of course, all
You
the
do?
time, all the time.
Sometimes they can be rather confusing, can't
Yeah.
they? Especially because they're often built into a basement, and there's many little aisles, lots of different places they hide things, sometimes it feels like. But I guess if you go often enough to your local grocery store, you will start to figure it out. Yesterday, David may have been in this grocery store for the first time. He was a bit lost. He was looking for the produce section and the dairy section. And luckily, he got some good advice and assistance from a very helpful clerk, and he was able to find all of the things that he needed. Are there things that you generally buy almost every time you go grocery shopping?
Avocados and milk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Avocados and?
Milk?
Milk. Okay. Those are
Eggs.
And eggs. I almost sense a meal here. You could kind of make breakfast with avocados, milk, and eggs.
Yeah.
You just need maybe a bit of toast or something like that to round it out. I always think of the big 5 vegetables that I always buy would be lettuce, tomatoes, carrots, onions, and green or red peppers.
Oh, okay.
Because you can make a salad out of those, and I use a lot of those in other dishes as well, right? You can use the lettuce and tomatoes to make a sandwich. You can use the cucumbers to make a nice sort of garlic dip. I like to make a garlic dip with yogurt and cucumbers. So I always buy those ones. And maybe a bit of chicken, too. It's always nice to have some chicken. And we did actually talk about the meat section and the frozen food section. When you buy things like meat, chicken, or steak or something, you can easily put those in your freezer and keep them there for at least a few weeks and even longer. And then the other things, I always have to make a list. Are you good at remembering things when you get to the grocery store?
No, so I always make a list before I go.
Me too. All right, let's get to our article and see what David is looking for today in the grocery store. So as we get to the article, it says, David is pushing his cart past the clerk. Oh, maybe he's still there, or maybe it's another day and he's back. But he is pushing his cart around. He has a shopping cart or a shopping trolley. You could also call this. This is kind of that large metal basket on wheels that people push around. And when you're buying enough things, I mean, I guess if you're just there buying avocados and milk, you might just use a basket. But if you're buying a few more things and you want to sort of save your energy and just make your shopping easy, you get yourself a cart, that metal basket with wheels, you push it around, you fill it up. And then when you're done, after you've paid and put all your stuff in a bag to take home, you put the cart back. Never leave your cart just sitting there in the store. That's very rude. As it says in our example sentence, remember to put your cart back after you finish shopping. It's the polite thing to do.
所以这个 cart 就是手推车。所以比如说 she decided to push a cart around the supermarket to gather her groceries. 有时候不会啊，有时候you can simply carry a basket with you. 如果你没有要买很多的话。所以课文就说，大卫推着他的手推车经过了店员。
Yeah, but if you suddenly decide that you're going to buy a lot of milk and orange juice and water, that basket can get very heavy very quickly. So that's why the cart is the easy option. David says, excuse me, as he sees the clerk, so he needs a bit more help. That's a polite way to begin this conversation. Excuse me, I couldn't find this brand of canned cherries anywhere. And then it says he shows a photo of it on his phone. So he shows exactly what he's looking for. Do you have it here? So there's a certain brand of cherries, canned cherries, that he is looking for. When we say a brand is just a well-known company name. When you go shopping, there are many types of yogurt or ice cream out there, but you might have your favorite type of yogurt or ice cream made by a certain company. So if you like that brand, then you would probably choose that one above the other ones. If they don't have your favorite brand, you might have to settle for something else. But a brand is basically the company name that we know. For example, Mercedes-Benz, Ford, Apple, Nike, things like that. If we're talking about ice cream, we could say Ben & Jerry's or something. That's a well-known American brand of ice cream, and a lot of people are very loyal. That's kind of my favorite. That's the only one I want to have. I don't like the other ones. They stick with their brands. It's sort of in the same way that we support our local favorite team, we have our local favorite ice cream or milk or something like that. So here we have an example sentence. Have you ever heard of this brand of running shoes? It's new to me. It's a brand I've never heard of.
所以 brand 就是品牌或品牌的意思所以知名的品牌就是 well-known brand。比如说 this shirt is a well-known brand that many people trust. 很多人都相信这一个品牌。那么we also saw the word cherry.
Cherry is a type of stone fruit, meaning it is a fruit that of course grows on a tree like fruits do, and it has a small round stone or seed in the middle of it, kind of like a really small peach or plum. Cherries are kind of a dark reddish color, almost a purplish color, and sometimes even approaching a blackish color, don't they? And yes, they grow on trees and they are quite sweet, and people like to use them either just to eat on their own, or they can use them to put on pies or cakes or things like that. Some people like cherry ice cream. I find it a little bit too sweet. And also, sometimes you might even flavor your drinks or put a cherry in a drink or something like that. Here's an example. Dylan put a cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. And often if you see a picture of an ice cream sundae, there will be a little red cherry right on top.
Cherry 就是樱桃的意思所以我们常片语会说 a cherry on top 代表是额外得到的好处。比如说 the extra whipped cream was the cherry on top of the dessert or of the cake. 等上面它放你就觉得哇好好吃I love cherries. 所以 David 就说我到处都找不到这个牌子的罐装樱桃你们这边有吗？然后他就给店员看这个照片。
All right, so yes, David is looking for a certain brand of canned cherries. The clerk maybe is not familiar with that brand, or maybe just wants to be extra sure. So the clerk says, let me check, let me look this up for you. Let me find out for you. It says the clerk checks the stock system. And when we talk about the stock in the store, we're basically talking about all of the stuff that they have in the store. The store should be filled with lots of stock or things for people to buy.
所以 stock 就是这个商店的库存，所以没有货了就是 out of stock。那我们等一下看他们有没有，说不定他们真的是他们就是 out of stock 的话，就没有办法找到 cherry 了。So yeah, do they have it?
Well, absolutely. We'll have to check, says the clerk. So let me check. They look on a computer, maybe a portable like tablet type thing they have, or maybe they go over to another computer and they say, I'm afraid that we don't have it in today. So when they checked, it said 0 quantity in the store, so they don't have it in today. It's not available to buy, and that's a bit of bad news, so that's why the clerk said, I'm afraid that we don't.
I'm afraid that 怎么就是有点它的委婉的表示拒绝吧，所以恐怕今天没有这个商品了。
As the clerk says, when they continue, it's currently out of stock, meaning we don't have any in the store, but we will restock it shortly. We'll get some more for the store shortly, in just a little while, in the near future. Would you like us to hold one for you to pick up? So when we get one, we can put one on the side, put your name on it, maybe give you a call and say, hey, your cherries are here. And so David will know when he can go back to the store so he doesn't waste his time. But they should be in shortly. When we say shortly, we're not talking about someone being tall or short, like that basketball player is very tall and I am very short. No, here we're talking about a short length of time, soon, in other words, not too far in the future, tomorrow, in 2 days, by the end of the week. That kind of thing is what we would say, what we would be thinking When this clerk says we'll get it shortly, if I say, oh, my friend will be here shortly, that could be in 5 or 10 minutes, in just a very small or short amount of time. For example, I could say, sorry, I got stuck in traffic. I'll be there shortly. We could also say, I'll be there soon.
OK, 所以 shortly 就是不久，很快的意思。比如说 The report will be done shortly, so please be patient. 那么 to pick something up 就是去购买什么东西，所以这个 cherries 目前是没有的，不过他们很快就会补货，所以他就问了 David 说，你有没有需要我们帮你保留一罐呢？ Hold something.
Yes, indeed. So David says, that's okay. I'll just get it next time. He doesn't need them to put one aside for him or for them to hold one for him. He'll just come in a few days anyways to buy more apples or milk or whatever. So he says, I'll just get it next time. If they're going to restock it, it won't just be 1 or 2 cans. It will probably be, enough that there will be some there in the next few days. So he's not worried about that. Where can I find the checkout counter is his next question. Sounds like he's ready to pay up and leave.
所以呢，大卫就说啊，没关系的，我下次再来买吧。诶，那请问结账柜台这个 checkout counter 就是结账柜台的意思哦。
Well, the clerk, of course, knows where the checkout counter is. That's where all the customers will go to pay. So the clerk says the checkout area is right over there, probably near the front door, not quite where you come in, but just maybe next to that, not too far from the front door. Right over there, you can wait in line to be served by one of the staff members of the store. You can wait in line or use the self-checkout. Yes, that's an option that you find in more and more grocery stores these days, the self-checkout.
所以 checkout 的意思就是结账，那柜台的英文我们叫 counter， 所以放在一起 Where is the checkout counter？ 就是结账柜台在哪里呢？所以结账区就在那边哦，你不仅可以排队的话，你自己想可能买比较少，你就可以去自助结账系统。
How about you? Do you use the self-checkout when you go grocery shopping, Chiglin?
It really depends on how much I've bought. Like, if I have a lot of things with me, maybe I'll just have them do it for me.
Oh, okay. That's probably easier. I never use the self-checkout because I think people should have jobs.
Oh, true.
I think self-checkouts take away jobs from workers, and I think that is a bad thing.
That's so sweet.
People need jobs, and workers pay taxes, and everyone is, better off, and I don't know. I don't want to be served by a computer, thank you. Anyways, back to the article. David says, I see. Okay, that's useful information. I have options. I can wait in line or use the self-checkout. I understand. I see. Do you take cards? Well, like playing cards? Are we playing poker here, David? No. He doesn't mean cards like playing cards, like you'll play a card game with. He means other types of plastic money, in other words. Those cards, the ones you carry in your wallet. The clerk says, yes, we accept debit cards, credit cards, and cash. So there you go. 3 different convenient ways of paying. They probably also have online payment systems, right? Phone pay systems. But they definitely will have debit cards, credit cards, and cash. Cash, is money in your pocket, folding money, paper money, $100, $500, $1,000, coins, things like that. Credit cards are things like Visa and MasterCard. I think you have to be over 18 to have a credit card. You get it from a bank. And basically it allows you to buy things today and pay for them tomorrow or in the future. It's very convenient, so you don't have to have cash in your wallet all the time. As long as you have your credit card, you can buy things. But then you will, of course, get a bill at the end of the month. And if you use your credit card too much, that bill can be quite a shock when you open it. But it is a very convenient way of not having to have cash with you all the time. So we could say, for example, I'm sorry, I don't have any cash. Can I use my credit card to pay? And in many places, of course, they can. And if you don't have a credit card, and I think even for a younger person, you can have something similar but slightly different, a debit card.
OK, debit card 就是签账金融卡，直接里面有钱在里面扣款那种。那 credit card 就是信用卡。所以我们常常会说信用这件事或 credit， 你比如说人家帮你做事情，你就把他的努力说给大家听，这个就是 to give credit to someone。我们口语蛮常讲的。It's important to give credit to the authors for their hard work。或者是说你的信用良好，你可以说你的，比如说 my account is in good credit， 就是我的账号是信用良好的。 所以大卫就说我了解了，你们接受刷卡吗？然后店员就说而且我们不止刷卡，还可以千账卡、信用卡跟现金。
All right, so David says that's great. It's great there's so many convenient ways to pay. Are the plastic bags free of charge? Of course, he'll have to carry all of his food home, all of the products that he bought. He'll have to carry that home. He wants to know if the plastic bags to carry the things in are free or free of charge.
Free of charge 就是免费的意思，所以他就说那请问这些塑胶袋是免费的吗？
And the clerk says, we encourage customers to bring their own reusable bags. All right, so they haven't actually answered the question, but they're saying we like it if the customers bring their own bags. A reusable bag will be made of cloth or nylon, something strong, and it is reusable. You'll keep it in your bag or keep it in your pocket and pull it out when you finish your grocery shopping and do that over and over and over again to use that bag many times. But maybe you're, busy, or you forgot something, you're on your way home from work, you don't have your reusable bag. So the clerk says, however, plastic bags are available for a small fee. We do have those plastic bags, but you gotta pay for them. They're not free. Because they encourage people to bring their own bags. To encourage is basically to persuade someone to do something by sort of giving them good advice, giving them good support, giving them good suggestions, maybe pointing out that doing it this way will be easier or better for them in some kind of way. You're kind of acting as a person's coach as well to say, you can do this. It's not so hard. I believe in you, that kind of thing. We're trying to use good supportive words to help people, do something that maybe they're not so comfortable doing or something they're not quite ready to do. And we're saying, it's okay, you can do this. I believe in you, and it will be a good choice once you try. For example, Bertie's uncle encouraged him to join the army if he didn't want to go to university next year. I guess Bertie's uncle was in the army, and he said, when I was a young man, I joined and it did wonderful things for me. I believe it can do good stuff for you too.
Encourage someone to do something 就是鼓励谁去做什么 Encourage 就是鼓励的意思哦。Teachers should encourage students to pursue their interests. 所以它的名词就是 encouragement 就是鼓励。所以店员就说我们鼓励这个顾客呢自备环保袋，不过有塑胶袋，不过会有一点点的费用。
All right, back to our article, and we're wrapping it up. David says, thanks for your help today. And the clerk says, you're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day. And then David is off to pay for his things and then head home.
所以呢，不想错过更多精彩的 English for You 内容，就赶快订阅我们的 YouTube 频道，跟追踪我们的 Facebook page 吧。
All right, we have a chat question here, don't we?
Yeah, we do. How can people lower food and plastic waste when they go grocery shopping? Explain your answer.
Well, I would say people can lower food and plastic waste by using a reusable shopping bag. That is an easy thing to do. I have two in my bag, a small one and a larger one, in case I forget one or lose one or I just buy more stuff. And I think another thing you can do is maybe even have some smaller bags that you can put, apples or bananas or oranges, those sort of loose fruits and vegetables that you sometimes buy so they don't get bashed around or crushed under your can of soup. You can do things like that. But I think carrying a reusable bag is a very easy thing to do. And there's not a lot of excuses for why you can't do that.
Right. I do the same too. I keep two in my car.
Good for you. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you down at the grocery store. Bye-bye. Vocabulary Review.
Cart. The gardener uses a cart to help carry all his planting tools and flower pots. Brand. The Levi's jeans brand has been around for over 100 years and is owned by Levi Strauss & Company. Cherry. My grandmother picked some cherries from the tree in the yard and used them to make a pie. Shortly. We have to hurry up and get to the theater because the movie will start shortly. Credit card. Ken used his credit card to pay for the meal because he didn't have enough cash in his wallet. Encourage. Eating local foods is encouraged because it requires less shipping and thus is more environmentally friendly.
智慧小补帖。
Stock. Checkout. Counter. Debit card.